another video. We're going to be making our predictions for 1.06 and what towers are going to be meta. So, first we have the Darling Gunner, which was the most OP tower last game. I think it belongs in the A tier just because even though the laser shock was fixed, everything else was pretty much buffed. So he's still a very viable tower and increased the late game potential, and the early game potential is still really good just because of its base 3 pierce. Next we have Dart Monkey. They only slightly buffed his late game towers, and his early game wasn't even that good anyway, so I'm gonna keep him in D tier. NG. Simply the XXL replacement is way too fast, and I think he belongs in S tier. It's probably the most broken tower in the game. He can defend infinite GGTs and basically kill anything except bats. Bats, yeah. Now subs. Subs are still good because of Reactor, and like they buffed everything else too. They buffed his missiles, ballistic missile, and his first preemptive strike thing, so it's really good. I'm not gonna put him before Darling, because I still think Darling's good. Let's put him in A though. Next we have Village. Village is like one of the best supports in the game. I think it can probably be used in any strat as a camo detection. It's usually used with sub, or it's probably used instead of sub. So it's either sub or Village for camo detection, or you have it built in. We have Mortar. It got a few price buffs. I still think it's pretty bad. Like, you have to micro it. It's pretty hard to micro, and like you can only micro one tower at a time, so yeah, Mortar's not that great. Next we have Ninja. They didn't fix it. They nerfed it a lot by getting rid of its stacking potential for the bombs and decreased cal drops. It would be S last time, but now I think it's probably low A tier or maybe high B tier. Yeah, I think Shinobi's still viable. Let's put him in B. Yeah. Now Sniper. Sniper, it got the initial nerf. Like, now it'd take more time to get the first supply drop. It's only a slight nerf, but honestly, I don't think Sniper was that good to begin with. Like, it's not the best efficiency eco. It's like 27 for eco, and it's not that good, especially with the nerf now. So let's put him in B tier. Now we have Spike. Spike maybe or maybe not should have gone nerfed, but it got nerfed slightly, like barely. I think it's still pretty good late game, and it can defend. It's like people always place it around 16 to defend against Moabs, so I still think it's pretty good. Let's put him above Village. Yeah, okay, now we have Wizard. Wizard isn't that great. He's like, they buffed his early game potential, but he barely does any damage. Maybe as a decamo. He's a horrible decamo, never mind. Let's just keep him next to Mortar, which is also horrible decamo because you can't decamo DDTs that well. Now we have Cannon. A slight buff to its mob damage, but yeah, let's maybe low B tier. Farm's got a bunch of price buffs, so no, not Darling. Let's keep him here. And it can also counter NG, so yeah, farms are pretty good. We have Heli, also pretty good. Just being a farm in general is already gives it so much higher, just because I feel like NG is going to be pretty good meta next 1.06, so let's keep him. He's actually might be better farm than Sniper, and the knockback isn't bad either to the Moabs, but he barely does any damage otherwise. Now we have the Ace. Slight buffs again, not too much. Let's put him, yeah, let's put him, I don't know, probably somewhere in C tier though. Buccaneer. They buffed him a lot actually, so let's put him, here. Super Monkey, they nerfed his price. Yeah, which means they increased it. but it's still pretty viable with village, so let's put him here. But I put it under village because village can be used with basically anything. Now we have Boomer. Boomer's Moab press is still really, really good. Even though they like increased the price of it, it's still pretty good. And I use Boomer a lot. It's like one of my favorite towers. So I'm gonna put him in S tier. Now I have Glue Gunner. Nope. Tack? Tack is not a bad tower. It's pretty reliable, can do a bunch of early game damage, and paired with ice, it's one of the best towers in the game. Let's keep him here, especially for like the ones with a lot of corners, so it's easier for Tack to use. It didn't change much though, but I still think Tack is good. Now you have Druids. Druids are a pretty reliable farm. They're probably gonna be one of the best farms, except the actual farm now. It's like one of the most efficient farms, so I'm gonna put him here. Actually, it might be higher, but somewhere there. Now we have Ice. Ice, Embrittlement, Ice, Impale, all of those, they do so well against CDTs. And Embrittlement does super hyper, I don't know what it's called. The 5th tier Embrittlement does so much, even more damage to Bads. Paired with like a high damage tower, it shreds, so let's keep him above Boomer. Alk. Yeah, Alk got slight buffs, I think. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't think it was touched much, but it was never really that good to begin with. Let's put him here. Yeah, and that's my tier list. Feel free to disagree in the comments, because this is kind of my first impressions on the tier list. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.